Good morning, Capt Dylan Hubbard here inside the News Radio WFLA studios here at beautiful iHeartMedia for our Bartow Ford Real Animals radio show this morning. Unfortunately, only with you for 2 hours this morning instead of 3, but we've got great guests in the studio this morning. We've got Captain Van Hubbard of Fishing Charters with Van and my father, Captain Mark Hubbard, as well. And we're going to be talking all about fishing this morning, inshore, nearshore, and offshore. And hopefully you'll join the conversation with us too. You can always call in your fishing reports, fishing questions, or just simply stories to 1-800-969-9352. And this morning, I want to talk a little bit about the weather to start and what's coming up, what we're looking forward to. It looks like right now we've got that high pressure building into the area, so we're going to have kind of an increased eastern wind flow here for the next 3 days or so, especially in the morning and the earlier part of the day, and then it seems to kind of relax each afternoon. And then we get into Tuesday, and that high pressure recedes a little bit as a kind of occluded front pushes down and then stalls just north of our area. So it looks like the best day coming up to get out there on the water would probably be Tuesday. We've got a first quarter moon coming up Thursday, and then a little bit of a cold front pushes down but doesn't make it into the area Wednesday, so it's going to cause a little bit of confusion weather-wise, but moving barometer, which would be a good thing. And then Thursday, Friday, our rain chances come up before that front finally gains the strength to push down Saturday. Looks like we're going to get some pretty nautical weather potentially a week from today, but so often this time of year things can change. We're into March. It's windy. That wind historically gets up there quite a bit. We have these high pressures that kind of linger and stay a little stronger in the area, but it's warm. It's warming up fast this year, huh?
Transitional period, lots of wind.
Yeah, lots of wind and a lot of fish moving around, it seems like.
A lot of fish moving around. The mackerel migration, I understand they're starting to get up by Fort Myers, and they'll be up my way around Boca Grande and Venice anytime.
Yeah. So Captain Van Hubbard, you're down in Boca Grande area. You fish, how far south do you fish?
About Boca Grande with the price of gas.
Touche. Not traveling far.
I used to fish down to South Seas and stuff, but not anymore.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy this morning. The price of fuel is exponentially going up, it seems like, every hour. But yeah, so around Boca Grande, you're expecting those mackerel coming back pretty quickly because of the bait. Have you been seeing the bait already?
A lot of bait fish showing up. The water's 67, 68 in the Gulf, a little warmer in the harbor. Been catching some nice mackerel in the harbor, 2 or 3 pound fish when we're trout fishing and stuff on the deep grass.
Yeah,
and that's been a lifesaver really, because we were only allowed 6 trout a boat down there, so you better have something to go with it.
Wow. And
the big Spanish have been a lifesaver. A few pompano showing up, but just hadn't been up to par there recently, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the pompano seem to be a little soft in our area too this year. Haven't really seen, because when they get really good, we'll have people, even tourists, catching them off the Johns Pass jetties, and I haven't really seen that this year. Some of the more hardcore pompano fishermen that really know what they're doing and are dialed into it have been catching a few of them, but it's definitely not as strong yet. Is that more something that we're looking forward to?
One of the guys had 15 down there the other day, so, something to look forward to. He said he had a lot of throwbackers, too, that were just a little bit too small. But
we're kind of coming into that
direction.
period.
There's a migration of them. That spring migration, the bait, and the bait's showing good on my chart plotter and my sonar, but is not showing up on the surface much yet. There's no fish to push it up to the surface and ball it up and tighten it up yet.
Yeah.
But it's definitely there, and there's enough bait to where as soon as that migration starts to push into our area, it'll hold them a little bit.
All right. So they're coming.
And that cold front's a blessing, because we don't want it to get too hot too fast. They'll come and go way too fast.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean by that. And basically that water temperature you're looking for those mackerel are low 70s into the kind of mid to high 70s. So you want to kind of keep it in that range. So if it gets beautiful and these high pressures stay along, we don't get these fronts, the water temperature can warm up too fast and they'll just scoot right by us is what you're talking about, right?
Right, but as long as that bait stays with us, as long as there's food, they'll hang around. They're not leaving the food, just like us.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. All right, so we're kind of looking forward to that transitional period. Water's definitely warming up. Tampa Bay is definitely in the low 70s already. It's incredible how quickly we came back. It seems like 2 weeks ago it was in the mid to high 60s, and it's definitely warmed up pretty quickly. It seems like the snook are already moving around.
Definitely the snook are starting to move around. The guys that are fishing them are starting to get some white bait now on the south side of the harbor, and they're starting to catch some snook. And the first people to find those schools of fish moving out do real good and have a real good time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to keep an eye out for sure. We've got Captain Gene Hammond from Reelin' Freedom on the line, probably talking about the Warrior Shootout coming up. Right, buddy? How are you this morning, Captain Gene?
Hey, Captain Dylan. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man.
I'm actually awake this morning. Call in.
Congratulations.
I always miss you guys. But, yeah, we got a great tournament. Just wanted a big shout out to Real Animals, Hubbard's, Marina, all of our sponsors for helping us out this year. Always putting the word out there, and always supporting this foundation. We're going to get a lot of veterans on the water this year. We appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
We appreciate supporting such a great event, and look forward to seeing it for sure. And
yeah, come out and see us. Probably get started. Weigh-in line closes at 1600 hours. That's 4 p.m. for those of you that don't speak that.
What day was the tournament?
Today's the tournament.
Today. So 4
o'clock
today.
We're out there fishing right now. Got over 20 teams fishing it, and I think 12 kayakers are pushing off at first safe light here.
Nice.
And we're gonna have a good day.
Very cool.
Have a great day. Come out and see us around 4 p.m. The lines close at 4 p.m. and we'll get our ceremony started at 5:30 ish. We have the Marine Corps color guard out there. We have Nashville recording artists singing our national anthem, and we always do a special tribute to those veterans and first responders that are no longer with us. We appreciate everything.
Oh, very cool, man. Where was the weigh-in? I didn't catch the location.
Yeah, it's at the Harbor Master Tiki Hut at Bay Pines Marina, just up the road from you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a cool place. The new
Isn't it?
Tiki Hut back there in Bay Pines. If you haven't been there yet, definitely a really unique location, easy to get to right off the main drag there. So 4 o'clock today at the Tiki Hut.
Yeah, Bart and Dave Travis, those guys, we appreciate their support too. They're from the soft community here in, the McDale area, and they're just awesome. I love that venue.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you calling in and giving out the details, and hopefully you guys have a great turnout today at 4 o'clock at the Tiki Hut behind the Bay Pines kind of lighthouse marina area.
That's it. You got it. Thanks a lot, Dylan.
Hey,
appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thanks for calling in, Gene, and good luck out there today. Going to be a beautiful, at least afternoon. It's going to be a little windy this morning, but I'm sure plenty of wind-protected shorelines to fish and hunt around. Kayak division out of that area, that would be a good place to launch a kayak right at the mouth of the bayou.
Especially this time of the year, those snook and some reds and trout and everything ought to be moving around there. It ought to be red hot.
Yeah, that Bay Pines Bridge with all those big oyster bars and all that water flushing in and out of there. I'm sure there's probably snook stacked up there waiting for them.
Right in the marina.
Yeah.
Right under all those boats. They don't have to go far.
Yeah, but I don't know how much water is left in there. I guess on a high tide you get enough water to get up in that marina, but every time I go over that bridge it seems like the water gets so skinny back in there. But kayakers make it easy, I guess, right?
Well, we're coming off that new moon, so our tides are not as extreme right now.
Yeah, makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Coming up on the first quarter, but yeah, still pretty weak tides on the backside of that new moon. And we've seen a lot of Jack Crevalle, I know, moving around through that area. Have you been seeing a lot of Jacks down in your area?
I haven't been seeing as many, but boy, they're sure a blessing. And thank God for ladyfish, because they've been a lifesaver for action.
Yeah. Ladyfish and jacks a lot. I think that's mainly what's pushing the bait around right now. And when do you think the bait will come back up to the surface? Just with the mackerel pushing them up, or is it a time of year, water temperature?
Just as soon as the sun brings them up.
Yeah.
That surface water temperature gets up in the afternoons, they start coming up. Afternoons and evenings when most people are heading home.
So we're waiting for that. It's definitely almost here. And hopefully it'll relieve some of the bird issues that we've been seeing around the marinas and stuff. Those pelicans have been aggressive, trying not to let those birds get carcasses and feel the issues with the birds feeding on carcasses. And we're trying to work really hard to make sure those pelicans don't get carcasses, but they get aggressive this time of year when that bait is down.
They're hungry, but there was some glass minnows showed up, little tiny glass minnows showed up the other morning, and there was probably 50 pelicans beating on them.
Nice. Oh, well, that's good to hear. You're already seeing the small fry bait. And then, small fry baits around, you have to really kind of watch your lure size. It becomes more important, right?
Yeah, if you're cast netting it, you better watch your mesh size a little bit too, or you'll learn what a Christmas tree is.
That's true. But cast net and that fry bait, what are you going to use that for? You put a little pinfish hook on?
Chum for mango snapper.
Oh, there you go.
And mackerel.
Yeah, that's some quality chum.
Yes, sir.
Don't have to mix that with anything. Just
no, sir.
Toss it right out there.
Don't even have to use Captain Van's magic chum with that.
There you go.
Got to put a plug in when I can.
Yeah, set you up for that one.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
So the mackerel are on the way. We're looking forward to that transitional period, and shortly behind the mackerel will be the kingfish, right?
Well, actually, I believe the big kingfish show up first. The first ones I always found were like in the Ship Channel and Blind Pass Drop, and of course Boca Grande Pass at home. Mm-hmm. But the biggest fish seem to show up first. They led the way in the spring.
Okay.
They seem to follow in the fall, but they seem to lead the way in the spring.
They follow in the fall, lead the way in the spring. That's interesting. All right. Well, definitely seems to be kind of moon phase related, so hopefully this next full moon will be in full swing.
Everything seems to be moving right now since this last new moon. There's more bait showing up every day I'm on the water.
Yeah.
I've been trolling for mackerel a lot with my planers and #1 drone spoons, and I caught my first kingfish yesterday, but it was 6 inches long, literally 6 inches long. But that's a good start.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking more about this inshore and nearshore and offshore fishing on the other side, guys. You can join the conversation. Give us a shout, 1-800-969-9352. We will be back. Bartow Ford Real Animals radio show on News Radio 970 WFLA.
I put my dollars in a can. I'll buy you a rose.
Good first segment.
Why don't you make it easy?
Just hammer you with questions.
Well, it's easy that way.
Yeah. I like playing the uneducated, just asking questions and listening. It's fun.
That's what makes you good at it.
Yeah.
Because that's what your average listener is, of course.
Yeah. It's cool learning or talking to different people through the show too, and myself learning more about this backcountry and inshore scene that I've never really been super hip to. So it's interesting.
The only person you don't want to listen to, right?
Who?
The one that knows it all, because they don't know nothing.
That's true.
If they think they know it all, they don't have a clue. They don't understand fishing at all.
You learn something new every day.
If you don't, you're dead or dying.
That's true. You got to keep ahead of the curve, that's for sure, and ahead of the fish.
Dinosaurs couldn't adapt. Big and bad as they were, they couldn't adapt, so they ain't here no more. And if we don't adapt and stay ahead of it, any animal, any fish, any animal, you'll notice they stay ahead. Whatever you figure out, they got to stay ahead of that or they don't make it.
That's true. Survival of the fittest. That's cool. Let's see. The next segment is a shorter one, so probably only have a few minutes. probably talk a little bit about trolling and your tips for setting up kind of, because you run a bay boat, right?
Yeah, 25 Parker.
Okay.
The
So
modified V, the single engine one, not the twin engine one.
okay. So so we'll talk a little bit about setting up a spread for mackerel and kingfish on that smaller platform.
Keep it simple, silly.
Yeah.
2 poles. Three if you've got confidence. Well, if there's any fish around, 2 poles will keep you as busy as you want.
Yeah.
And how many fish you want to catch and clean.
That's true. All right.
And I'm going to segue to Pop on this one. I'll talk about the mackerel part, and then I'm going to push the kingfish part to him so we get him engaged.
There you go. Just don't forget to get close to your mic on that one. When you started talking, you were kind of far back. He'll come in here and yell at us. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta close that door. About 6:30.
Do you have an extra water here or anything?
Yeah. You can have one, Mike. People start showing up, and then it gets real loud in here. You need a water, Dad?
I'm good. I got coffee.
Can leave you feeling isolated, and divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone, but you don't have.
Let's see if we have any questions on Facebook. Thanks for watching, guys, on Facebook. Mike Mahoney, we should eliminate pelicans hanging out the marina.
You don't have the tubes that you dump underwater, don't you?
No, we had the tubes. We had to get rid of them.
Why?
Because you dump all the carcasses down the tubes. Like, say on a busy
They go on the beach.
busy all day half day
They show
trip.
up, they show up floating over.
Well, it's not so much that the tube gets clogged, and then the pelicans just learn and they start dipping their head under the water and pulling carcasses out of the bottom of the tube, and then all of a sudden you'll have this big cough of carcasses, and all the pelicans will grab all the carcasses. Because like on a busy trip, I mean, you could have 800, 900 fish coming off that dock between the all day, the half day, and a couple charter boats.
I haven't been around there in a while. It's somebody's.
We're back. We're back. News Radio 970 WFLA for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Show. And don't forget, guys, we are streaming live to our Facebook, the Real Animals Facebook page, Real Animals YouTube, and, of course, Hubbard's Marina page as well. We've obviously woken up the infamous Mike Mahoney because we talked a little bit about pelicans, and that's all it takes to get him started. Classic. But on break, we were talking a little bit about this kingfish and mackerel trolling, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that, being as though we're kind of on the cusp of that kingfish and mackerel time of year where they start showing up real heavily. People often will ask, well, how do I get set up to troll for those kingfish and mackerel, and what's the best way to approach it? Where should I target? That kind of thing. Being as though you're a legendary mackerel fisherman.
That's what got me started.
Yeah. So share some of your secrets or your tips.
The simple way for most people to mackerel fish is a 30-pound conventional rig. Level wine for most of you is easier. Mm-hmm. And a number 1 or number 2 planer and a number 1 drone spoon. And I add a swivel to the planers, and I spray plane them flat black so that I don't get as many cut off, because when they get cut off,
they come black now.
Yeah, I buy them black whenever I can find them, but if my old ones are spray painted flat black. And
why
put
do
about
you do that, Van?
so that the mackerel don't cost me $25.
Because the mackerel will hit the planers.
He'll hit the shiny planer, and I use black swivels in front of it and behind it, of course. And I use about 15 foot of for mackerel. I usually use 40-pound fluorocarbon.
15 foot of 40-pound.
Yep. And
fluorocarbon, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's expensive, but when that water's clean, that's when the mackerel bite's good, and it makes a difference. And this is one of those things where you can experiment. Mm-hmm. I remember with Tim Cayley years ago, I brought one rod with me, and we had 3 of his we were trolling. And my one rod was catching more than his 3 rods. And he says, all right, what the heck's going on? And back then we sold the mackerel and everything. We'd filled up one of those big giant igloo coolers. I had my Gene Turner hook plucker, and I was just popping them in there. And I said, well,
showing off.
well, we were having a good time. You know, we wanted some fish to sell because that was your money back then, is the fish you sold off the charters. You didn't make that much off the charters. And I said, well, hey, how about you coming down here and see if you can figure it out? I'm ready to take a break. And he said, well, you come on up here. I'll go down there and trade places with you. And I'd lost a couple of spoons, and he got to looking at it, and he had 50-pound leader, and I had 40-pound leader. And I was getting 3 times the strikes on the 40-pound leader.
Wow.
Better action of the lures. Mm-hmm. Again, it's all just simple when you think about it.
Testing different methods. Now, on that setup, number 1 drone spoon, swivel in front of the spoon, behind the planer, in front of the planer, right?
I don't use I do not use a swivel on the spoon.
Okay. Eliminating that
it.
tackle.
Exactly. Well,
okay.
The big eyes, big good eyes in clear water.
Okay.
I mean, how often when you're fishing live bait do you come up with a bait that's cut right around the hooks?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
You know exactly what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear that fish can see.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know your dad does more kingfish trolling and stuff, so I'll let him address that part and how he does that.
Yeah, because someone asked on our Facebook feed here, how do you get kingfish when they come in close? So what would be your suggestion on kingfish when they come in close?
Live bait and kingfish is the best way to go, but the hardware is the easy way to go. Set up exactly like Vanley was talking about. The 15-foot leader, I like just doing 3 big arm lengths, which is about 15 feet, depending how tall you are. That way you grab your line when the planer comes out of the water. You just grab the leader and 1, 2, 3 arm lengths, and the fish swings right into you. The leader size, that if you can get away with 40, some of these lines now you can use 50 and 60-pound line, but it's 40-pound diameter, and that's so important. And Vanley is exactly right. Lighter the leader, the better, more strikes you're going to have. But you have to have a soft tip rod, and you have to have a nice drag system, so when that fish
nice
runs,
and smooth,
it will not create a spike on the line to break the leader.
Very cool. We are up against a break, but we're going to have more tips and tricks on the other side. Plus, we've got our good buddy Justin Moore, Captain Justin Moore, on the line. We will get to him on the other side as well, so stay tuned. Real Animals Radio will be right back on News Radio WFLA.
News, traffic, and weather. Top and bottom of every hour.
News Radio W.
Besides the soft rod and the smooth drag system, for kingfish, wouldn't you use a bigger spoon? I mean, I know we normally.
And I use
A number 1
number
is,
1 is a little one.
yeah,
That's a
what's
baby.
a number
Using,
6? Or number 4, I think it is. It's 6 inches long.
Yeah, it's a 6-inch. It's
think
5 or
it's a
6 inch
number
spoon.
Yeah, that's a number 6, because the ones that we have
think
at the
it's
shop
I think
and that
those are
we've
number
always
4s.
used, they don't have a number on them.
Well, those aren't drones; those are king spoons.
We have the Eco Spoon, and then we have the Huntington drone spoon as well now, because they don't make the Eco Spoons as much. They're harder to find. The drone spoon is more expensive because it's got the welded hook instead of the
hook lasts
screw.
forever.
Yeah, it's a much higher quality spoon.
You know, Mezro has them now, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Eric bought it a while back.
Eric bought who?
Huntington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know who Eric Botnick is, but he purchased.
He bought Huntington drone spoons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Wow,
So you've got an in.
that's cool. That's a great company. They make some cool spoons. They Big Rock is the one who pushed Huntington on us, because the King spoon, which I think was made by Eco Spoon, they're just harder and harder to get to where we didn't have them. I think it was 2 years ago.
Oh wow!
And so we had to bring in Huntington drone spoons, and they're more expensive, but they were way better, because you know how you'd occasionally get hit on that king spoon, and then you'd reel back and you'd only have the spoon, and the screw had came out and you'd lost the hook. Yeah.
Clark spoons and the Captain Actions were the worst of all.
Yeah.
The similar metals. Mm-hmm. You know all about it.
Yeah, they'd always break. But the Huntingtons, that doesn't happen at all.
A real handy trick that you can do if you want to at Fish. They've got those rolls of aluminum foil to stick on aluminum shiny reflector tape, and I put that on my spoons. That makes a difference too. And
That reflective tape's for life jackets. That tape is expensive.
No, this is the roll that's 1/2 inch wide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you put it on the spoons. It makes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the reflective tape that they sell there for, because that stuff's like $125 a roll.
This is for lures.
Huh.
And it's killer.
Okay. There's so much stuff at that store. It's hard to find everything they have to offer. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Boy, you're blessed to have them too.
Yeah. So close by. They carry stuff that a lot of places don't have.
And good
Third
people to work
generation.
with, too.
Yeah.
Good people to work with.
Yeah. I don't know of a tackle shop anywhere that has anything from crab line to crab pots to pinfish traps to a full line of boots, deck boots and bibs and everything like that. Fisherman's Ideal Supply House. Definitely a cool place.
Yeah.
Gator Gyms has the biggest selection of lures and rods that I've ever seen, but it's hard to have everything.
I make it a point whenever I'm up here to stop by there.
Yeah, Gator
Great
Gyms.
people, great people.
Yeah. It's crazy the deals he gets because of the way he buys
You
stuff.
just buy the truckload. You get junk with it, but
Yeah.
you get good stuff too.
Yeah.
But he didn't have any ugly sticks when I was in there last week.
Yeah. Well, he'll get something good in like that and he'll put it on such a deal. I was in there one time and he asked, I wasn't even allowed to tell people about the deal he was giving out. It was on a Van Stall combo. Unbelievable price. It was nuts. I was like, man, you should tell people about this. He's like, oh, I'm not allowed to advertise this. Deal's so good,
Word of mouth.
the manufacturer won't let you talk about it.
That's what social media is for.
Well, even that, he's not allowed to post about it.
No, he can't, but you can.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You want to talk about the king spoons and the different ones and the air or the mirror lure?
Well, because of the Facebook feed, a lot of people could get the behind the scenes, the stuff we're talking about that you get cut off on. That's what I always hated when I listened to the radio show and when I was a guest in the radio show. It's like the conversation at the break, we continue what we were talking about and elaborate on it more, and people miss it. So that's what this whole thing is for. So hopefully people enjoy that. But I think we'll come back and get to Justin because he probably has a charter.
The volume on this needs to be turned up because I can't hear half of it.
Oh, really?
Is that this long dial here?
No, this is the volume on the break, he's saying.
Well, I'm not watching today, of course, but when I'm at home watching, I can't hear but half of it. It's too
Quiet.
too quiet.
Yeah. At least it's something.
Hey, I can pick up pieces,
Yeah.
but especially when you were educating Mike on fisheries management stuff and everything.
Yeah.
I was trying to listen and I couldn't catch it.
Yeah. It's hard too with the background noise.
And I picked up and I've been pushing the discards thing big in my columns and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm talking with people because that's the biggest thing. We can make the most difference in the least time.
Yep. Safe handling practices.
And we want to mention that in catch and release mackerel and kingfish, don't touch them. Use a de-hooker.
Dude, I had no idea there was such a big catch and release mackerel fishery.
They're so much fun.
When
But if you put
at the
them in a
council
boat-
meeting,
if
they're
you put them in
talking
a boat, you kill them.
the rec lobby was talking about how we don't catch our quota because we're all catch and release fishermen. I was like, who releases big kingfish?
Well,
And I started talking to other
actually
charter
release
captains.
Big ones. I want to eat the medium ones and the smaller ones. Murder
okay.
the big ones.
I started talking to other charter captains. I was like, oh, all right, this is a thing. Yeah. I guess if you get them chummed up and you're catching 50 of them in a trip, you don't, yeah. All right, we're back. Sorry, guys, to disappoint. Just Captain Dylan Hubbard this morning here on News Radio WFLA 970 for our Bartow Ford Fishing Show. Real Animals Fishing Show. Captain Mike Anderson is unfortunately not in studio this morning. He's down there in Costa Rica at the beautiful Zancudo Lodge, probably sitting in a contender boat right now, putting out a spread for a big sailfish. And we're all living vicariously through him this morning, reminiscing back to the time my father and I went down there together with our other halves. It was a lot of fun, and that was first time seeing a 20-foot crocodile take a carcass out of my hands was pretty cool.
That was cool. Not the place to go swimming or paddleboarding.
Yeah, definitely not. But incredible fishery for sure. So I'm sure next week Captain Mike will be back and he'll have plenty of good stories to share with us. But I do want to give a shout out to our friends real quick at Affordable Roofing Systems. Remember, if you need a new roof or roof repair, check out our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. They understand that your roof is a large investment, protects most everything you own. Let Affordable Roofing Systems' 3 decades of experience and roofing knowledge guide you through this important process. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or flat roof, Affordable Roofing Systems is your safest choice for repairs or replacements. Affordable Roofing Systems is defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a personalized professional approach to doing business. Call Affordable Roofing Systems today at 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit their website, affordableroofingflorida.com. With that, we got our friend Captain Justin Moore on the line here, and want to chat with him a little bit about what's going on and hear from him. Hopefully you got a fishing report too. How you doing, Captain Justin?
Good morning to all the Hubbards. We're doing good down here in Anna Maria, or how you old-timers call it, Anna Maria.
That's right.
I've never heard that one, so that's new to me.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. all the old-timers call it Anna Maria. I know I'll go to I got invited to a birthday this afternoon, and to one of the best, probably one of the best tarpon fishermen on this coast, Captain Bobby Buswell, and he will definitely say, son, how are things going down in Anna Maria?
That's right.
For sure.
That's awesome, man. So how's the bite been for you?
You got a wealth of knowledge in studio this morning, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're breaking our own rule. There's supposed to be a rule out there that we're not supposed to be more than 2 of us in any one location, but Vanley's a cousin by choice, so I think we're okay. We haven't broken it fully. How's the bite been for you, Justin?
Everything's good. It kind of went from, really a winter scenario to spring, maybe even early summer, pretty fast. A lot of bait showed up. Some bait showed up on the flats, of course. All the bridges and markers have bait, and there's been some bait offshore. I've been talking to some of my offshore buddies, and it's spring fishing. And then there has been quite a few spring mackerel around the pass and little bluefish, and the tides are getting a little slower, but Van can tell more about the fishing around the passes on slack water, but take advantage of that, especially jigging for those pompanos. It definitely helps to have a little slower moving water for sure.
Yeah, and those mangroves too around those bridges. Have you been seeing a lot of pompano?
We had a pretty consistent winter down here of them, but recently they started catching them off the beach along with whiting. The whiting are spawning right now, so the guys are catching some whiting. But I had one of the better winters I've had on pompano. But I'll tell you, Van's helped me a lot over the years. He's really one of the best pompano fishermen I know. And kingfish, of course, he can catch anything. He's like my dad. If it swims out there, he can catch it. But I'll tell you, if there's any listeners out there that have any questions at all about pompano fishing on this coast or kingfishing, you better call in and talk to Van for sure while you got him.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I've already been trying to pick his brain on the pompano. He kind of glassed over it on me. We'll get back into it. But I appreciate that for sure, and I'm sure he appreciates your kind words as well. He's blushing in here. No.
I look forward to seeing you this afternoon, Sonny.
You can't make him blush. Van doesn't have any official kids out there, but he's got quite a few around that do love him and care about him.
Oh, amen to that.
You and Billy Miller are two of my favorites.
Nice choices.
We love you too, buddy.
Pretty good fishermen y'all are too. A lot better than me these days, boys, and I'll be the first to admit it.
Well, I'll tell you something. You learn from surrounding yourself by good fishermen, and I've been blessed, to be around just some great teachers, and you can always learn something from somebody, So we all know that.
And that is the key for all of us. Like you said, Van, Captain Justin Moore, Captain Billy Miller. I really watch some of those younger guys getting into the fishery, and those two are definitely kind of the highliners of the Tampa Bay area, and that's the key. They surround themselves with good people and listen and keep your ears open. That's the biggest way to learn. What did Grandpa always say, Dad, about you have one mouth and two ears for a reason? What was the line?
Yeah, it's just you got to be teachable and keep your mouth shut and listen.
Way to radio it up. You're supposed to listen twice as much.
Yes. Well, cool.
Amen to that. Well,
yeah, go for it.
You guys. No, I was gonna say good fishing to you all, and you all have a great show this morning. The kids have sports, so we're getting ready to take them off to games today, and so I'll be hearing that line. That's I hear that quite a bit from their coaches. So
be quiet and listen. We appreciate the call in. How does someone book a charter with you?
You can go to AnnaMariaBoatCompany.com, and that's me. And I've got another boat, and I've got a couple really great young captains that are working for us, and taking our overflow, and they're doing a great job. And I'll tell you, you want to talk about teachable and coachable. These guys don't need much coaching. If they ask, I'm more than willing to help them. But man, I'll tell you, they don't have to ask a whole lot.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm proud of them for sure. So.
Well,
and they treat people good. That's the main thing. There's a lot of really great fishermen out there, and but if you work hard, catch people a few fish, show them a good time, they will come back.
Amen. Amen. All about the customer experience, brother. Well, you have a good day with the family there, and enjoy, brother. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Good fishing to everybody.
See you, man. Thank you. And right behind that, got another great caller. We got Ron from Ron's Tackle Box with our inshore report. How you doing over there in beautiful Lake Alfred, Ron?
Doing great this morning. We've had a great week of fishing. This is the time of the year where everything's spawning, everything's moving, chasing each other, having a good time. A lot of bass fishing, especially a lot of 6 to 9 pound size fish I'm seeing, a few over 10 this last week. It's really been good. A lot of tilapia fishing. People like to fish for them. There's plenty of them around here. Shellcracker, bluegill, crappies. Everything's going strong before the heat comes on.
All right, so this crappie or speck fishing, I know they've been talking about it. Mike loves it. Captain Big Ben Marshall loves it. They've been talking a lot about it and how it's so good around that February full moon, I think it was. Does it slow down now that things are warming up?
No, it will. It will slow down, but they'll be on until around April real good.
Okay.
And then you could night fish them all year round. People don't realize that, but night fishing is real good with a light, and you can get them every day, no problem.
Interesting.
But this time of the year, big ones. A lot of good breeding size fish and just plenty of them.
Nice. And you said the big bass this week was 10 pounds?
Yeah, a little over 10. I've seen a couple there, but a lot of 9s. A lot of 9-pound fish. But most people think they're 10s. So they come in here and weigh them, and they're
a 9-pound fish would be a 15-pounder for me.
Oh, it's nice. I mean, that's a beautiful fish. You get one 5-6 pounds, it's a nice-looking fish.
Oh, yeah. I'd be jumping up and down with the
And
6
most of them
pound
are
bass.
catch and release. You know, a lot of these guys weigh them, take a picture, and put them back in the lake. So
That's
it's pretty
awesome.
good. We're trying to keep the big ones in the lake and take the small ones home to eat.
Lake Rochelle, still the hot lake over there?
Lake Rochelle and Lake Haynes has been
Lake
real good.
Haynes.
It's right here in town in Lake Alfred. And that's where I get most of my reports
Okay.
from these surrounding lakes here. 5 lakes in town and 8 fishing piers. So real nice right here.
That's awesome. 8 fishing piers.
554 lakes in Polk County.
554, and they're all full of hungry bass right now, right?
Loads of them, yes.
And you got all the bait, tackle, and everything they need over there at Ron's Tackle Box, right?
I would hope so. I have 3,000 square foot of it.
Wow. Well, how does someone get a hold of you? Where are you located?
I'm at 380 South Lake Shore Way, which is 1792 in Lake Alfred. Phone number 863-956-4990.
Awesome.
I
man.
do appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you holding on the line, and we'll talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for our weekly
sir.
freshwater report from our freshwater
You got
guru. See you, Ron.
Come on out. Bye.
Awesome. Have you done a lot of freshwater fishing?
A little bit. I haven't done much in a while. I did get down to Okeechobee. One of my friends, Captain Patrick Mason, took me down there last year, and we had a good time, caught some specks. But
Yeah.
they've been spraying that grass down there, and
Yeah.
I hear it's not the same this year. So
Yeah.
something I look forward to doing when I retire,
Yeah.
whenever that is.
Yeah, the Watts brothers did the Bartow Ford fishing conversation over there this past, I think it was in mid-February or so, and that's what they were focused on, was talking speck fishing and bass fishing, and obviously they answered a lot of redfish questions too, but I was very interested to learn more about that, and it was crazy the differences in freshwater fishing, but that's basically what they did, is they did the pro redfish circuit forever and dominated it there, and now they've basically slowed down a little bit and are totally focused on freshwater and learning a new fishery. So it's really interesting to me, and it's definitely a whole different type of fishing. That 12-foot rod and 4-pound test.
that speck, when you catch them out of those dark river waters, that tannin stained waters, they got some of the prettiest colors in them, gold and silver and everything. They're just beautiful, emerald green back. They're just gorgeous fish and a lot of fun and darn good eating.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I think we'll have to explore that someday soon. Have you tried one of those, Dad?
Joe next door fishes every morning up there off the Grove in Church Lake in Floral City. And he's got up to a 10-pound bass, and there's a bunch of specks and perch and that kind of stuff up there. And they have fish feeders that off their docks, and they'll get them going, and that way they just come up and catch their limit, as many as they want. And so it's a big thing up there. I have to take them up. I got some rods up there. I just haven't, I've been too busy.
Well, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
Yep, that's right.
Nice. All right. We'll be right back on the other side with more inshore, nearshore, and offshore fishing talk. You can join the conversation, 1-800-969-9352. Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Show. We'll be right back.
I'm Benny Jr. at Bartow.
And my suit jacket. I'm not ready to wear them high socks with my deck shoes.
He very well seldom wore shorts.
Yeah, he always wore pants.
Yeah, he never wore shorts.
Yeah.
And even if he did, he had not flip flops, but he had those sandals.
Yeah, sandals.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some that Mike made him.
Yeah, so I've never gone shorts with the high socks, but I do wear them when I wear my suit.
I won $100 off of Jimmy and Tommy at Tommy's wedding.
Oh, really? How's that?
I said, Jimmy said, wonder if Dad has red and green socks on. I said, of course he does. And, oh, no, not today. He had a tan leisure suit on. He said, oh, no, not today. Tommy, oh, no. And I don't remember if they said or I said, you want to bet? And back then I got $20 a day, and a $100 bet was a serious wager. Okay?
Yeah.
And I says, yeah, I'll bet you. And he said, $100. I said, okay, no problem. I said, Cap, can you show these boys your socks? And he says, don't tell me they bet. And I said, yes, they did. He says, collect your money, son.
That's hilarious. They thought he was dressed
you
up.
You don't own anything else, do you? He says, hell no.
Only dress socks he had.
The only socks he had,
Port
period.
and starboard.
Yep, red and green. He was a special guy. I got to spend a lot of time with him.
That's
That
awesome.
that was a real blessing. And he kept trying to get me to go on the boats. And I go, no, I don't want to go on the boats. You know, I don't want to do that head boat stuff and everything. When I got my license, I only got 50 tons because I didn't want them waking me up to go across the street and run them head boats.
You purposely got a smaller license to avoid it.
Yeah. I don't want to run anything bigger than that. That's
Yeah.
totally different ball game.
Yeah, it is. That's interesting. So that's where you were running charters originally, was in Paso Grill?
No, I didn't go to Paso Grill. When he went to John's Pass, that's when I went out there.
Oh, okay.
Paso Grill, I'd gotten out of the Navy and everything, and there was too much trouble at Paso Grill at that pier.
Yeah,
I didn't need to be around that. I already had enough trouble with that name.
yeah, true. So you just kept moving around,
No,
or you went south right off the bat?
I went back to O'Neill's for a while, but I fished.
We're back. We'll get back to that
No
story.
problem.
We're back, Real Animals Radio on News Radio 970 WFLA. Want to give a quick shout out to some upcoming events we have coming up. We talked a little bit about it there at the end of the last segment about our last Bartow Ford fishing conversation with the Watts brothers. We've got another one coming up on April 19th. April 19th, we'll be back out there at Bartow Ford, and the infamous Mike Mahoney and myself and Captain Mike will be talking offshore fishing, and Mike will be covering the pelagic side of things and the deep water stuff, and we'll be covering everything in between. So definitely going to be a good time. Plus, as always, out there at beautiful Bartow Ford, we'll have Silver Ring Cafe providing us Cuban sandwiches, the deviled crab, the stuffed potatoes. Bartow Ford also did pizza last time. There's tons of giveaways. We gave away Bull Bay rods last time, and Bull Bay threw in some reels. So there's Engel coolers, there's Real Animals apparel, swag, and much, much more. So definitely a good time out there at Bartow Ford. Again, that's April 19th. So stay tuned for more information on that. Plus, we have coming up next Saturday, March 12th, we've got the Norm Schwarzkopf Memorial Shoot benefiting the Children's Home. So a great local charity there, and benefiting a great opportunity for you to come out and enjoy a breakfast, a lunch included, plus a charity clay pigeon shoot. Going to be a lot of fun out there at beautiful Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. Mike Mezro's got a beautiful location and a great event space, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, we're going to be doing the show from there potentially that morning, and then getting right into breakfast and riding around on the golf cart with our shotguns. So it'll be a lot of fun. So hopefully you can join us for that. For more information and to sign up, you can go to realanimals.com, click the sponsors page, and then scroll to the bottom of the sponsors page. You'll see the Children's Home logo. You can just click that. It'll bring you right to the event page where you have information and way to sign up. Then the following day, March 13th, we have our Bass Pro Shops fishing seminar at 2 p.m. That's Sunday, March 13th at Tampa Bass Pro Shops. We're going to be giving away a free 10-hour all-day for 2 guests, a 5-hour half-day for 2 guests, and talking all about nearshore and offshore fishing too. So definitely come out and join us Sunday, March 13th at 2 p.m. at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops. And then finally, another cool event coming up. We've got our Tampa CCA Banquet. So the Hillsborough County CCA Banquet, March 24th. So lots of good stuff there, as always, at all CCA banquets. Didn't you just have your banquet down there?
Manatee just had one.
Yeah. Oh, it was Manatee, so it was further north, yeah. Scott Moore was sending me a bunch of photos from it.
Yeah.
I think he goes to all of them.
He goes to a lot of them.
Yeah. They always put on a great event, that's for sure.
Yes, they do.
And always cool stuff to get, as Mike Mahoney brought up last week on their show. I think that's where most of the artwork and home decor comes from in my house, at least.
That Star Tournament's coming up pretty soon, too.
Yes. The Star Tournament kicks off here. I think that's when does that start? I forget.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
coming up soon.
Maybe somebody will call in and tell us.
Lisa Fitzgerald, just her ears perked up somewhere across.
Exactly.
Across
that was
the Tampa Bay region.
If she's not fishing out at Little Gasparilla or something.
She's probably sitting on a porch somewhere getting the boat ready to go snook fishing. But definitely the Star Tournament is coming up. Great way to get out there on the water. 100-plus days of fishing, plus you're supporting CCA. And, there's a ton of divisions, from trash, literally collecting trash, to the offshore divisions, grouper, snapper, mahi, to inshore. There's children's divisions. You can win a scholarship. There's crazy stuff. Trucks, boats, tons of stuff in that tournament. It's
Especially
huge.
good about all that kid stuff. That's awesome, because that's the future of everything for us.
I think they said, Lisa was saying that there's like 4 or 5 scholarships this year being given away. So
awesome.
Yeah, really incredible, the things they do. This is the 8th year of the Star Tournament. I remember that. Definitely pretty intense, the amount of effort that goes into something like that. But we are talking fishing this morning. You can join the conversation, 1-800-969-9352. We've got Captain Van Hubbard in studio, my father, Captain Mark Hubbard. And we talked a little bit about kingfish and mackerel and how they're kind of coming up. And Justin said he's seeing the bait already out in the flats and some of it on the beaches. I haven't seen anything on the beaches yet, but we are on the brink of that all-out kingfish mackerel mayhem, hopefully. But it's all about the weather. So many people are like, well, when does it start? I'm coming down March 15th, and you think it's going to be around, and there's nothing. There's no way of knowing, right?
Tell me what the water temperature is going to be. I'll tell you when they're going to be there.
Yeah. And then how long will it last? I'm coming down mid-April. Will they be around then? And it just comes down to that water.
The peak is the hardest part to catch, but you've got good fishing for a long time. They'll be around for a couple of months.
Yep,
at least.
That's the goal. Trying to capitalize when you can. Get out there when that water temperature's right. Mid-70s is what we're looking for, but even early 70s, they start showing up. So we're looking forward to it. Spring is in the air, folks.
Any day.
We will be right back talking fishing. We've got Jeff on the other side, and hopefully hear from you as well. 1-800-969-9352. Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Show. Be right back.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
WFLA Tampa.
We are
everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music radio.
hurdles and those obstacles.
Because you do clay pigeons at your place, right?
Yeah, and the FRA event is when I got that big hogfish.
Yeah, the metal art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a cool place.
Emily's father, they have a concrete, I guess a bunch of concrete guys get together and they do an event out there, and she got me a gun bag.
Just a heads up about Jeff. He was asking questions of either charters in general or your charters.
Okay.
Just to keep an eye on how many people we got on the lines
Yeah.
for this segment. So.
Yeah, a lot. Full board.
Just keep it flowing.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Devin. That was the children's home person.
Send them to the website.
Yep. Yeah, so this.
To have people like Justin calling and saying all that flattering stuff in there.
That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's
His
awesome.
Dad and I were the only ones down there backcountry fishing for the first 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Really?
We had white bait. Nobody else knew what was going on, and we literally caught snook and redfish
till you got bored.
Uncle. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't stop and fish a bunch of fish if we didn't have 30 fish in.
That's crazy.
We'd have schools in Ski Alley there during the peak times where there'd be 100, 150, 200 fish in it.
Wow.
Up to 40-inch fish.
That's crazy. 40-inch snook.
I've had them up to 48.5 inches.
48.5-inch snook. Holy cow.
30-pound fish.
That is a monster.
30-some pound, yeah.
That's a Costa Rican snook.
Yeah, they're fatter over there, just like the ones on the East Coast are fatter.
That's crazy. See that little square by his coffee cup? Why don't you guys drag that a little closer to you? Yeah, there you go. That's a monster fish. Holy moly. Ate a live bait?
Oh, yeah. I had a...
Is that the biggest one that you've landed on your boat?
Yeah.
48.5 inches?
Yeah. And I had to swim through a dock to land that one.
Oh, my goodness.
I hooked it. He went through a dock, or she went through a dock.
Yeah.
And I jumped in the water and just went right through there holding my rod reel above the water. My friend picked me up on the other side.
That's crazy. That is nuts.
And I had one day, a guy hooked that ate a threadfin, a full-size threadfin, came up and shook her head and threw out a mullet. I went over there and picked it up. It was 19.5 inches long.
Wow.
And she still ate a threadfin.
With a mullet in her mouth.
With a mullet in her gut. And
That's crazy.
When the mullet came up, it knocked the hook and the stuff out. And I fished for that fish for 2 more days, then she left. She was even bigger. She was huge.
That's crazy. We have a full board here, so on this next segment, we'll rip through these callers. It is cold in here today.
Yeah. I noticed. I'm glad I wore a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah, I walked in this morning, I was like, oh, junk. I just took all the jackets out of my truck.
I got a couple in my truck. I don't know if I have any double X's.
So Dad said you guys are going to follow me to the Peruvian food truck this morning.
Whatever he says, I'm game.
It's good. It's very unique.
Yeah.
Costa Rica, there's food trucks everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, the food trucks. I remember in Puerto Rico, that was some of the best chicken that I had was that one red food truck by the Coast Guard base. Man,
They're putting one on Treasure Island behind the Treasure Island Resort. They just built a tiki hut out there.
Yeah.
And they put some porta potties, and they're putting a food truck on next to it.
In the Treasure Island Resort parking lot?
Behind the Treasure Island Resort, there's a strip of sand. That's
right
you're not
along
allowed to
the
build
city
on.
walk?
So they got the Indians to do a tiki hut, and they put some porta potties on it, and they're putting a food truck on it.
That's crazy. We're back.
Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
News Radio 970 WFLA here in beautiful iHeartMedia Empire with the Real Animals radio show. I'm Captain Dylan Hubbard. We got Captain Van Hubbard and Captain Mark Hubbard in studio this morning. Unfortunately, no Captain Mike. He's over in Costa Rica playing around, but hopefully chasing some big sailfish, getting plenty of good footage for Real Animals Season 16. Going to be a great TV show. Got lots of good footage already. So definitely stay tuned from that. The boys at Lateral Media putting together a great Season 16 of Real Animals. But we've got a full board stacked up here, guys. So we're going to take some of these callers and appreciate y'all calling in. But just be patient as we get through this list. First, we got Jeff from Lake Alfred talking about charter fishing. How are you this morning, Jeff? Thanks for calling in and joining the show.
Good morning. I was curious about some of your trips from Hubbard, like a half day. My father's older, and he still likes to go out fishing, but he can't do a whole day anymore. But
yeah, the half day is great fun for any level experienced angler. It's kind of the family-friendly option. Doesn't go super far, doesn't go super deep. We get a lot of good-eating, smaller fish, what we call the gray snapper, but also it's known as a white grunt or Key West grunt. Really good eating fish. We see a lot of the porgies. This time of year, we're getting a lot of the big black sea bass, and you have a good shot at a hogfish as well. And then the 10-hour goes twice as far for twice as long. Start getting a little deeper, and a chance for a keeper grouper goes up. We get a lot more hogfish, but that's a longer day for sure. But the 5 hours, great fun for the whole family. You just can't go into it expecting a trophy catch. A good catch is a dozen or so nice Key West grunts to take home, and sometimes if you're experienced and the fishing's good, you can get a lot more than that. But it's a lot of fun for sure.
There's a comfortable place for you to sit while you're going back and forth, or to take a break too for your pop.
Yep.
The biggest bluegill's about the size of our grays.
Yeah, the half-day trip is daily from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., and then we also offer a 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. trip this time of year when we're busier. So the reservation is always recommended. You can give us a shout at 727-393-1947, or just look it up on our website, hubbardsmarina.com. Definitely recommend a reservation this busier time of year. But being a local, if you're not in a super big rush, you could wait until about a week or so following Easter. It slows down a little bit. During the week will be a lighter load. And March, April, June, and July are the busier months with tourism, when boats are running a little bit more full. Being a local, you want to definitely, if you're aiming for a lighter load, that late August, early September, all the way through mid-November, and then between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that January, early February time frame is the lightest loads, kind of the best opportunity to get out there and have plenty of room and more one-on-one time with the crew. But any time of year is a good time to go fishing.
sounds good.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
Anytime, man. Thanks for calling in, Jeff. I appreciate it, and hope to hear from you soon.
All right.
See you, buddy. And behind Jeff, we've got Mike Mezro, the man from Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. How you doing this morning, Mike?
Hey, Dylan. How you doing?
Doing well, buddy. Looking forward to next weekend.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready for you guys. We're going to have a good time.
Hopefully you got extra food.
The weather's
How are you,
weather's
Mike?
going to be great.
Mark Hubbard
Hey,
here.
Van, I don't know if you remember me, but I fished with my dad and Elliot, and I just looked at a video not too long ago. It was from 1992.
Holy
We fished with
mackerel.
Elliot Buckman and my dad, Jack Mezro.
Wow.
And
Elliot was a character.
Just brought back memories.
Elliot was quite a character. Is he still around?
No, he passed a few years ago. Just some complications, but I still talk to his wife and his kids. And my dad passed about 4 years ago. But I saw that video, and man, we looked pretty darn young back then. I can tell you that.
We enjoyed some good fishing too. Thanks for remembering and reminding me.
Oh, you're a legend, brother. You're a legend. And then also, Mark, while we're on it, I think I met your dad not too long ago at Hot Dog Island.
That's right. That's right.
At Swamp Stock.
Yeah. Exactly. We were being rednecks all out there at Hot Dog Island one day. But anyway, hello to everybody. Hopefully you guys can all make it next week. I know you got a busy day-to-day with everybody on there, but come on out and visit. The weather's going to be great out at Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. We've got, of course, we got the Children's Home next week. We just had Ronald McDonald House yesterday. We've got Camp Idlewild today, and Paint Your Heart Out with old Dick Greco today. So weather's been great. Come on out, check our website, www.mytbsc.com, or just Google Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. Thank you, guys. Keep up the good work, and I'll probably see you at CCA.
All right, buddy.
Sorry I missed you. I was at Hot Dog Island, too.
Well, I'm going to be out there soon. I just got to get my boat running.
Excellent.
Well, appreciate you calling in, Mike.
Soon.
We'll see you next weekend, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
See
Bye-bye.
you. And after Mike, we've got Devin from the Children's Home Network. Devin, how are you doing this morning? Probably calling to talk about what we just talked about, right? Give us more information on how to sign up.
Yep. Good morning, Captain Dylan. Awesome to be on. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for calling in this morning.
Yeah, and hi to Mike Mezro. Looking forward to seeing you out there. He's got such an awesome place to go have fun. And he runs a beautiful business, and I can't wait to get out there and shoot some clays myself, honestly.
Yeah, Tampa Bay Sporting Clays is a magical place for sure. And you work with the Children's Home, correct?
That's correct. Yes, I'm the Director of Development. I've been at the Children's Home for 5 years now, and it's a wonderful, wonderful organization. We've been around since 1892, one of the oldest in the Tampa Bay area, and we serve children that have been abused, abandoned, and neglected.
What a great service that you provide to the community. It's pretty incredible, and Mike speaks so highly of it, so I'm definitely honored to be a part of this event coming up this coming weekend. And all the information on that event is on your website, right?
That's correct. And as you mentioned earlier, if you go to realanimals.com, the sponsors page, all the way at the bottom of the page and on the right, you'll see our logo, which is a colorful butterfly. That'll take you to our events page where you can find information about the 28th annual General Schwarzkopf Classic, which is this Saturday, and then also Captain Mike Anderson's first annual Real Animals Classic Fishing Tournament. And that's happening April 29th, like you already touched on, Dylan. And just these two events, you can shoot and fish with Mike, and great food and weather, honoring our veterans and support abused kids. So we're just really excited, and there's still spots open for both events, and we're hoping to have a great turnout for the children that we serve.
Yes, I look forward to it as well. It's going to be a ton of fun, as you said. Great charity to support, and then great food, great camaraderie, and a beautiful location. So all the recipes for a good Saturday next week. Hopefully you can join us again. realanimals.com, click sponsors page, scroll down to the bottom. You'll see that Children's Home logo. You can get all signed up and get all the information you need. Thanks for calling in this morning, Devin. I look forward to meeting you next week.
Thanks so much. Thanks, guys. Take care.
See ya. And with that, we save the best for last. Captain Jim Fogel with the Coast Guard Auxiliary. How are you doing this morning, Captain Jim Fogel?
I'm doing great, Captain Dylan. How long have the Hubbards been planning this overthrow is what I want to know.
Yes. I'm glad someone caught on to that. When I was driving in this morning, I was like, there's going to be 3 Hubbards in studio this morning. Mike leaves town. He didn't know what he was getting himself into.
And how's Captain Mark? I don't know Captain Van, I don't think, but I certainly know Captain Mark.
Yep, doing great, doing great.
Good. I want to talk this morning for a minute about being a good Samaritan on the water.
Amen
to
that.
The captain or person in charge of a vessel is obligated by law to provide assistance that can be safely provided to any individual in danger at sea, and is subject to actually fines and possible imprisonment for failure. Now, we're not saying that you should put your boat or yourself or your people in jeopardy at any time, never. But if you find somebody out there floating around lost or no power or something and waving like crazy, you really are obligated to go over and check them out. First of all, you want to tell them to get their anchor down so they don't float into something that hurts them. But check it out. Maybe they don't have power, they don't have a handheld radio or a cell phone, and they just need help. They need you to maybe call for assistance or call the Coast Guard or somebody like that. If you've ever been in that situation, like I think I have twice, you will know how lonely you feel out there, even when you got other people on the boat, and you'd be happy as heck when somebody rides by and gives you a hand. It's kind of scary out there, especially if you're offshore and nothing's working. You don't have to loan them any money. You don't have to jumpstart them. You don't have to get them gasoline. But you really are obligated to just check it out and see what's going on. Maybe they've been stranded with no power for several hours and don't have enough water on the boat. Things like that, you know.
And if I'm broke down and stranded, I need beer. So.
Yes. Well, you know, some of us keep that on board just for that cause. You know what I mean? Just in case we find you out there.
Yeah.
I thought that was just to trade with shrimp boats.
I heard a story this weekend. My buddy from Lateral Media, Cameron Richardson, was filming a shoot over there in Jacksonville for Wahoo, and they ran into issues well offshore and came in on one engine, and what was supposed to be a very short ride turned into a 19-hour ride. And when the engine started having issues, they were down to 4 bush lights for 6 guys on a 19-hour ride home.
Rationing time.
Yes. That is dangerous. Yeah. I would have been sitting on the cooler with a shotgun.
Exactly. You know, if you do stumble on somebody out there that needs help, don't do things that you're not trained or qualified to do. Yeah. In other words, you know, don't perform any open heart surgery or any of that sort of stuff if you're not a qualified person. But give them the help that might get them back and might help them over this little problem. Sometimes if you have time to hang around while until the towboat or the Coast Guard gets there, that's a good thing to do too. Yeah. So anyway, guys, appreciate the time. You guys have got a good show going there. I'm approving of the overthrow so far. Keep up the good work for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. Jim Fogel. Be safe out there.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it always. With that, we got to go to break, but on the other side, we're going to be talking more, and Captain Van has something he wants to talk about, what we ran out of time. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the other side. Bartow Ford, Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
It's not if time out there. It's not if, it's when.
Yep.
That's all I was going to say.
Amen to that.
Been there, done that.
Fishy
no
business.
Comment.
Fishy business. Who is that? Fishy business. Why is that so? Is that Scott Moore?
No.
Rick Gross. That's who it is.
Yeah. Knew it was somebody we're supposed to recognize. It's been around a while.
Yeah. I saw the name. I was like, I know that name.
Yeah.
Rick Gross. It was funny. They were talking about on the Richard Seward Memorial Show. We were talking about how he's so legendary, been around for so long, and the conversation got started about a Tampa Bay fishing museum, and that'd be really cool. But so hard.
There at Walsingham Park.
What?
There was one up at Walsingham Park.
There was one?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It was about 10 years ago, for about 5 years.
And they closed?
And they ran out of funding. The guy that started it passed away, and his girlfriend kept it going for a little while.
Takes a lot of money to keep anything brick and mortar going.
Yeah, that was my thing when it came up. It's like you would need some serious funding to even. I mean,
need a foundation.
It's $2,000 to rent a home nowadays.
No, it's $2,000 to rent a hole in the wall up here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Did you get your landscaping done?
Yes. Yeah.
Looks beautiful.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very, very nice.
We got a.
Are you hitting around for coming over for a barbecue?
No.
I was looking for a sprinkler guy.
I'd mentioned Tommy Todd was a friend of mine, and I had talked to him if you needed somebody. He knows his way around that stuff.
I didn't end up using him because when you had talked to me and when I saw that, I had already called somebody. Jay Parrish at Bass Pro, his good buddy he grew up with, was into the business, and I got linked up with him. And he specializes in like permaculture, horticulture, recycling water. He's super big into the environment, so it was really cool meeting him. And he installed this smart water system because I'm on well water, and so often if you're on well water, people just don't care and they just go crazy. And he was.
They don't realize it's still water.
It's still water. It's still being pulled from the aquifer. You might not have to pay for it, but it's coming from somewhere.
In your lifetime, you're going to see a lot of changes there.
Yeah. So we installed this smart water system, so my lawn texts me.
Huh.
It's pretty cool.
Your lawn texts you, I need water?
No, yeah, it has a moisture sensor in the heads in each zone. It will tell you what your moisture level is, and it will turn on the sprinklers if you need it. But if it just rained or if the moisture level is high enough, it won't turn on the sprinkler system. Awesome. And then the heads are these low flow, like just sprinkle. It's really cool how it all works. But my water consumption has been cut by like almost 70%. It's crazy. We're back. Real Animals Radio is back on News Radio 970 WFLA. We've got Capt Mark Hubbard, Captain Van Hubbard, and myself, Captain Dylan Hubbard, in studio this morning. Captain Mike Anderson is unfortunately not with us. He's down in Costa Rica at the beautiful Zancudo Lodge, hopefully catching up a bunch of sailfish and putting together another great episode of Real Animals Season 16. So stay tuned for that. Do want to give a shout out to our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. Don't forget, if you need a new roof or roof repair, check out our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. They understand that your roof is a very large investment that protects most everything you own. Let Affordable Roofing Systems' 3 decades of experience and roofing knowledge guide you through this important process. Whether you need a shingle, metal, tile, or flat roof, Affordable Roofing Systems is your safest choice for repairs or replacements. Affordable Roofing System is defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and they have a personalized and professional approach to doing business. Call Affordable Roofing Systems today at 888-397-ROOF for your free estimate or visit their website at affordableroofingflorida.com. Definitely important, especially as we are looking forward to summer. What comes with summer?
Rainy season.
Rainy season, followed by hurricane season, or Florida season, as I call it.
Yep.
We've been very, very blessed the last few years when it comes to tropical systems, and hoping and praying and keeping our fingers crossed we have another blessed year this year. Don't want to see any of those things go anywhere. But unfortunately, it is a product, and just want to save Tampa Bay and Boca Grande too, I guess. From any direct impacts.
Please.
Yeah, but should be. I don't know. National Hurricane Center, I don't think, has put out their thing yet. But La Nina typically is weaker seasons, I believe, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So we should have hopefully not an super active hurricane season, but. I don't know. I'm in the process. I'm already talking about hurricane season in June. I'm just this time of year is exciting.
I'm still enjoying spring.
Yeah, I know. I'm jumping forward in my head already, transitioning into that warmer time of year for sure. I'm excited to put away the jackets. Let me tell you, I do not like being cold. Everybody talks about, I love this cold weather. I miss seasons. I don't. I like it hot. It's nice. Summertime in Florida is beautiful. Going to the beach, going to the pool, and the great fishing that comes along with it. I'm looking forward to it.
Talking about it this last few weeks, and rather be a little bit warm than a little bit cold.
Amen to that. Me too. Because you can always jump in the pool or jump in the lake or jump in the Gulf. When it's cold, it's just terrible. You got to put on so many clothes and getting in and out of the truck. Oh, I don't know how people live like that.
Wow, it got almost to freezing here this year. and Big D is whining about cold. I don't believe it.
It was freezing, Van. It got to freezing.
I pity you poor souls up north, and I understand why you're down here, but give us a break. Be careful driving. We had frost once this year.
Yeah, I had frost in my house. It was not acceptable.
But I pity the poor souls up north.
Oh, man. Like I said, I honestly do not understand how you live like that. I visited New York City with my wife, and it was very cold time of year. We went up there to see her family, and you have to wear so many different layers. You walk into a store, and all of a sudden it's 90 degrees with the heat, so you got to take 15 minutes to take all this junk off that you just put on. Then you walk back outside, you got to put it all back on. It's ridiculous. Summertime, T-shirt, shorts, and a tank top, and you're good to go.
Thank God we live in Florida.
Amen to that. Beautiful.
God bless flip-flops.
God bless flip-flops in our fishery, surrounded by water.
Amen. That water moderates our temperature a bunch.
Yep. Yeah, and we have an incredible fishery, and definitely looking forward to not only those kingfish and mackerel, but the pompano picking up. That clear water is ahead. It's really, really clear when the weather is nice, and hopefully we'll get a little moderate stretch and see that nice, clean, clear water on the beach. Do you like cleaner, clearer water when you're hunting those pompano? It seems like they bite better.
Well, when you have that, when that water's stirred up on the beaches and the passes, you're going to catch a lot of catfish.
Yeah.
They love that dirty water. When that water clears up, any fish with a big eye, pompano, snapper, mackerels, permit, they're sight feeding. Yeah, they've got a sense, smell, and everything too, but they do a lot of sight feeding. So it's that clear water lets them see your lures or your baits, your presentations.
So it is true, cleaner water is going to give you a better chance to try to target those pompano.
Absolutely.
That's what I assumed, but again, not being an inshore master, I don't know.
For me, anyway, they got to see the lure to bite it.
If you were going to go out pompano fishing with one live bait, dead bait lure, what would be your choice?
Good old Doc's Goofy Jigs.
Doc's Goofy Jigs. All right. What color pattern?
Depends on the water. I use a chartreuse and white and pink and white mostly.
Okay. All right. Any preference? Well, again, you're only picking one. So what size? What weight?
Depends on the current flow and the depth of the water. I mean, if it's deeper, I'm using a 3/8, even a ½ ounce. If it's shallower, a 1/4 ounce.
Okay, so fishing on the beach where you're not dealing with crazy deep water, generally not much current, what would be your go-to?
3/8, so that I can cast it a long ways. And most everybody wants to cast out. If you cast at a 45-degree angle, you're doing better. You're going to be in more fishy areas.
Fishing along the beach, fishing those troughs, definitely. We will be back shortly to talk more about pompano and whatever else you want to hear. Give us a shout, 1-800-969-9352. We'll be right back.
News, traffic, and weather.
Doc ordered some jigs for something and ended up getting a bunch of ice fishing jigs, and that's all the banana lures are, is an ice fishing jig that's been modified with a stronger hook and everything.
Yeah, he won't sell to us. Will not sell to our shop. So we use everything but Doc's jigs.
Well, there's all kinds of copies now.
He's still kicking around?
Oh, yeah.
He was.
Still kicking around, still absolutely loathes us for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is.
I had a full line of his stuff for a while.
We had a full line of stuff forever.
Yeah.
I think it was something between him and Amanda, or he got mad that we were selling some jig. I forget.
Huh.
But he came in our shop one day
he's
and
a unique,
threw a
special
fit
individual.
because we had some lure on the shelf that he didn't like. I think it was naked ball jigs. I think we had talked about naked ball jigs being good for pompano, and that's what set him off. I don't know, but I'm over it. So.
He's a strange character.
Very strong opinion, but a great fisherman, great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah,
He's been through some
if you cross him, you don't get it.
Yeah.
But we're using the Your Pro, and when we can get it, the crazy jigs. Those are the two.
The little feathers on them.
Mm-hmm.
I invented that.
The feathers, the teaser. Really?
Johnny Downing's brother, Charlie Downing, and Frank the Net, cast net guy, who was real famous back in the day from the Keys, catching mullet and everything, silver mullet for tarpon fishing. They used to use a small gold hook and a trailer with a sand flea on it. Well, thanks to beach renourishment, it's hard to find sand fleas. So I said, well, heck, I use the tip of the shrimp on there. And that worked okay, but I said, well, the shrimp comes off, I'm fishing with a bare hook. So I said, why don't I try experimenting with flies? So I started experimenting, and that's where that came from. And people were picking it up from fishing with me and everything, so I told Doc about it, and he started making them, and then everybody started copying them. Like they
on the
copied
back
him.
side of the segment, ask him what he's doing with the jig.
Yeah.
That's so important.
That's what I was going to ask, is how you rig the fly, because
and work the jig on the bottom.
Yeah.
What it represents.
I've heard so many different things about where to rig that fly. Should it be on a split ring on the lure? But don't answer the question yet. That's a good one for the segment.
Whatever works for you, whatever you've got confidence in.
Yeah.
And we want to do this in there too. This is the most important thing. Who I learned the most important thing about pompano fishing from was Pop.
He was good.
And because he used to do a lot of that. That's the hardest fish to catch inshore.
Yeah.
With live bait, snook, and trout, and redfish are stupid. And he said, you want it to hit the bottom and hop and kick up the sand like a sand flea or a shrimp burying or a crab burying. Click, and that stuck with me forever. And that's the biggest secret there is.
That's crazy.
Don't work it too fast.
Yeah. Slow it down.
As soon as it hits the bottom, though, it needs to hop. Short hops. Braid, you move the rod 3 feet, that's too far. Inches. And just sharp enough so if he's there, you hook him.
This is the same thing with that naked ball jig offshore for hogfish. Just if you're moving your wrist, if you move your arm, you moved it too far off the bottom. It's crazy.
Well, I got to get up here and go hog fishing with you guys sometime. I catch a few by accident, but
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and not bad eating.
Captain Frank has really dialed in on it, more so than any of our other guys, because he fishes those half days and all days more than anybody else. Oh, Captain Rick Gross called in. Cool.
We heard his ears ringing.
But and that's what it's all about now, is mentoring and sharing, because there's no need of me taking it to my grave. It ain't gonna do me any good there.
I remember Pop, biggest yellowmouth trout ever caught. Had to be a certain time, I think it was March, right in Daisy Banks on the outside of
tear them up at the Daisy Bank.
In Paso Grill?
Yeah.
Is that the flat that you took me to that one time?
On the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, right up. Yeah.
That was the biggest trout I ever caught.
And right in the corner there.
Yeah.
By Vina Del Mar.
We're live. But yeah, that flat, you took me there in the little skiff, and I'll never forget. It was a mirror lure, Mirrodine, like the 17 MR, and I casted past the flat and worked it over that drop, and it came up and hit it right on the surface, and I thought it was a huge snook. I was like, whoa.
Is there actually any grass left there?
There wasn't much grass there when we were fishing it 10, 15 years ago.
I figured there's nothing there.
Yeah. There's a little bit there.
I was fishing a shark charter one night and started jumping tarpon there, and that's how I found the tarpon on the inside there.
Oh, really?
When I won the 81 tarpon roundup, it was from the Mud Key Flat, the Mud Key Hole, which is there's a ledge in between Terra Verde and Vina Del Mar there out in the channel, and that's where I caught it, fishing Boca Grande style drift fishing.
Over the ledge. Used to get all his tarpon out of that hole.
Yeah.
Really? That's the big hole in Paso Grill channel there, by that red marker.
Between Vina Del Mar and Terra Verde.
I had a lineup with some what do they call those Norfolk pines, the tall pines, and on both sides, and I had a lineup that I used to find it on.
Tell your smart device to play WFLA.
But it used to be a nice ledge.
Yeah.
This is News Radio WFLA. This is the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show presented by Hubbard's Marina. Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
News Radio 970 WFLA, Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Show is back. Talking fishing, we've got a board that's lighting up. We got Captain Rick Gross and Dale on the line too. We're going to get to their calls real quick, but want to wrap up this pompano talk. We were talking before about Doc's jigs being your favorite, and on the break you alluded to the little teaser that comes along with those Doc's jigs occasionally, and how you were the one who came up with that and told Doc about it, which is something interesting I didn't know. But how do you rig that Doc's jig with the teaser? How do you prefer it? Because I've seen it where people put it 6 inches up. Oh, it's got to be 12 inches up. No, it's got to be 10. Or no, it's got to be on a split ring on the lure.
Well, and I do it completely different. I do it as a trailer most of the time. I tie a piece. I take about 15 inches of 30-pound fluorocarbon, and I tie it onto the bottom of the goofy jig, and then let the teaser on a loop knot from that.
So you tie that trailer to the top of the jig, the eyelet of the jig?
Nope, the actual hook. To the actual hook.
Interesting.
The secret to hold it in place is the full hitch.
All right.
Yeah,
so
it keeps it from sliding on the hook. Now, when the mackerel and bluefish are bad, that won't work because you get cut off all the time.
You're losing teasers left and right.
And I wanted to point out one quick thing about pompano fishing, too, that Captain Wilson taught me 100 years ago, or it seems like that long. And the big secret to catching pompano, he said, was when your jig hits the bottom, to hop it.
Yeah.
As soon as it hits the bottom and kick up sand like a crustacean burying up. And that's helped me catch pompano more than any one thing ever.
So you're not retrieving the lure. You're just hopping it along the bottom.
Short hops on the bottom.
Short hops being 4 to 6 inches.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
I gotcha. So
don't make them run too far.
Don't make them run. Don't retrieve it too quickly. Slow it down. You're just retrieving the slack in your line as you hop it back to you.
Just short hops, exactly. As soon as it hits the bottom, kick it up. As soon as it hits the bottom, kick it up.
The pompano secrets from the man himself. Hopefully you guys are writing that stuff down. Anything else to add?
Thank God for pompano. They're mighty tasty.
Amen to that. All right, we got Captain Rick Gross on the line from Bradenton Fishy Business Charters. How you doing, Captain Rick Gross?
I couldn't be better. This is an awesome show you guys got on. I was thinking about some of the history that I have with the Hubbards. I think the first deep sea trip I went on was like in '67. I think I was a 7-year-old kid, and my dad took me out on one of the boats, and he caught. I just remember he had a big fish, and I think you guys might have something to do with why I ended up the way I am.
That's awesome, man.
You got hooked early.
Yeah.
Hooked on fishing.
Yep, exactly. Hooked on fishing. And the other thing I wanted to find out is, where did your saying come from about being too busy to go fishing? Because I used to call into Breakfast Beat, or not call in, I wrote into Breakfast Beat, because back then you didn't really call in. I wrote a fishing report to them, I think it was in the early 80s, and Ernie Lee used to have that saying, and I think it was your grandfather that took over with him or after him, and I was sending fishing reports to him, and they had that saying.
Yeah, I'll let my father take this one, Capt Mark Hubbard.
Some people said Salty Saul started it. I realized that Pop lived it after a while, because on the dock you just get so distracted with so many activities keeping the boats running and people, and after a while, people would ask him about the fishing. He's just too busy to go fishing. He's just too busy, and it became a lifestyle. But some folks say Salty Saul. I think Dad just started it and just lived it. It's part of his lifestyle.
and I think it was propagated by those guys, Salty Saul, Ernie Lee. But Van, it looks like he has something to interject.
Because it's good for you. That's what Ernie Lee used to add on, okay?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And I remember getting to know you from the Cody tournaments and stuff we used to have. That was a lot of fun. I miss seeing you.
Yeah, it's one of those mottos or sayings that I think has just been propagated through the industry, and it's caught on in many different ways. I'll never forget a few years back when I had a terrible habit of chewing tobacco. I opened a can of Grizzly Wintergreen chewing tobacco, and on the underside of the can it said, "If you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too busy." I think I still have that can of dip laying somewhere. It was pretty mind-boggling, but it is cool.
Well, the other thing is I kind of came full circle with the deal on the Hubbard's boats, because my dad took me back when I was just a little kid in Tampa growing up, and then my sons asked me, says, "Dad, what would you like for your birthday, or like for Father's Day or whatever?" And I says, "I'd like to go on that 39-hour fishing trip." And they bought me that trip, and it's a couple of years ago. I think it's been 2 years ago now. Got to go out on that trip, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember you guys going out there. That was cool seeing you out there, and you guys brought home a stringer. Couple of them.
Yeah, they don't tell you this, but they should. You need to bring a wheelbarrow with you when you go to leave.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes, it was. And the one captain that was running the boat at the time, it was during the American Red season, and I had already had my limit of American Reds, and I had brought another one up, and the captain said something to me, "Well, what's your number?" And I said, "Well, I've already had my limit." I said, "I'm having to be." He says, "You need to stop fishing for them." And I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Just stop." He goes, "You need to go find the biggest live bait you can find in the tank and put it down there." So that's what I did, and it wasn't 5 minutes later, and I got a beautiful gag.
That's awesome. That's a great way to do it. Bait selectivity, trying to weed out those big red snapper. A big live bait will keep them off your tail. That's for sure.
That's when those true blacks show up too, isn't it?
Or a gag grouper, but a true black. We've been seeing a few of them this year. Hopefully, we'll get some more when we go back deep. Great story, Captain Rick.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad I was able to get in. You guys have a great show going, and I love me some Hubbards.
Thank you, Rick.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling in. How would someone get a hold of you to book a charter inshore?
Well, I still think the best way is just go through Real Animals.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got my webpage is fishybusinessllc.com.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you calling in, man. Hopefully we'll hear from you again next week, buddy.
Hey, thank you, guys.
See you, bud. Always a pleasure, Captain Rick Gross. We've got Dale talking about boats, or maybe a question about boats. How are you doing this morning, Dale? Dale, you there, buddy? Dale, you got a question for us, my man? You're live on air. Nope, we lost Dale. Maybe you can give us a call back, buddy, if we missed you. We would love to answer your question about boats, and I apologize we couldn't get to you. But hopefully we'll hear from you, and Dale again, too. You can always give us a shout, 1-800-969-9352, to share your fishing stories, your fishing questions, fishing reports, whatever. We still got a little bit of time left this morning. And we covered pompano pretty in-depth, and we talked a little bit about kingfish and mackerel.
We didn't finish the kingfish conversation about the size lures.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we sort of got held up there. We're talking about the king spoons and drone spoons, and who bought the company and stuff, what the next generation will be.
Yeah, Eric Botnick from Muir Lure, Captain Van Hubbard shared with us this morning that he has taken over that Huntington drone spoon company, which is great news. That's a powerful spoon company, and they have a variety. Does Huntington make the small spoons as well, Captain Van?
Down to number one. In fact, they actually make a 1/2.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And that is the top-of-the-line spoon to use.
Oh, yeah.
Drones. And why is that?
They're top of the line because of the hook setup, and you can speak more to that.
You get what you pay for. The hook's a welded hook. It's solid as a rock of Gibraltar. That hook's never going to break, unlike most of the other spoons, and they do cost more, so be careful with them. But they're excellent spoons. I take and add a little reflector tape to them and make them even shinier, and I'm extremely happy. That's all I use.
Yeah, and I mean, we've always used Clark spoons, Eco spoons, King spoons. There's a bunch of them out there, but they all have problems with that hook breaking. We invested to bring in drone spoons to our shop, and that's what our captains and crew use to troll now. And it's been incredible the amount of fish that we're able to land and not lose due to those hooks breaking off and stuff like that, and the screw backing out of your spoon. So I really like those drone spoons. But if you were going to troll for kingfish, what size would you choose?
About a 5-inch to a 6-inch. Match the hatch. Yeah. Whatever you're fishing for. If there's bigger bait and you're fishing for bigger fish, use a bigger spoon.
Perfect. Commonsensical approach. What about color?
Yeah, I like the red, blue, and the green. Those are my favorite.
Red,
and
blue,
I usually
green.
do all three to start, and whichever one's catching the fish, you move to.
There you go. There you go. Do you have a different color preference?
Nope. I just like to add that reflector tape.
Silver?
Silver.
On the underside?
Top side.
With the red, green, or blue?
Nope. I just put it on the top.
Oh, gotcha. But they already come with reflector tape.
Some of them do, but not all of them.
Oh, okay. You're saying, okay.
And you can buy packs of that stuff.
Yeah.
At Fisherman's Ideal Supply, they have rolls of it.
There you go.
Yeah, they get beat up after they catch a few fish.
Yeah, that's true.
Just stick another piece on.
That's a good part about a spoon because you control like a lot of people really like, and I used to do it on my little skiff along the beaches for mackerel, trolling the Yozuri crystal minnows, the Rapala X-Wraps. Those lipped plugs work really, really well for not only mackerel but also kingfish too. But you catch a couple fish on them, and all of a sudden your $12 to $20 lure is shot because it gets crushed or doesn't swim right anymore. And the spoon is invincible.
You better have a billy club and long needle nose pliers too.
Yes, yes, those treble hooks are no fun.
Be careful of mackerel teeth. And
or you can use the Hubbard's Marina inspired dehooking tool that we have at our shop that Barracuda Tackle worked with us on producing. That dehooking gun is what we use. Do you still use the little flipper?
Yeah, I use the flipper.
Yeah, a lot of people use the flipper, and it works very well, but it takes a little bit of knowledge and a lot of skill to be really, really proficient. Plus, the flippers don't work when you're using a 15, 20-pound fish. You know, it's harder to flip them. But the gun is that's why we prefer it. And I call it a gun, but it's just basically you squeeze those two posts together on the dehooking tool. But it's the same idea of turning that hook upside down and allowing that fish, the weight of the fish, to pull the hook out.
Pull against the barb.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same exact idea, except for with the tool that we use, you don't have to flip it. So it makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more kind of average Joe angler proof. But we are coming up against a break. We hear music. We'll be back shortly to finish up this show with our last segment of the morning and pick Captain Van Hubbard's and Mark Hubbard's brain a little bit more. So stay tuned. 1-800-969-9352 is the call-in number. The Real Animals Radio Show will be right back.
We need to mention Gene Turner there because he was the one that he did a whole lot to save kingfish. And Mel Berman, I was still netting back then and everything, and Mel Berman was a fabulous mediator, and he had Gene and I on here. The first time I was on here was with Gene.
Oh, and, really?
He's the one that really got the dehookers started and everything. He had the plastic one that they had that at Eckerd's back when Pop was doing those yellow hurricane rods.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if you would remember that, but you
Yellow
might.
and white ones. That's that spinning rod that I have, that white one.
Oh, really?
At Eckerd Drugstore.
Wow. That's cool.
My first fishing rod.
He used to do an ad for them.
Hurricane fishing rods. We do need a fishing museum, making sure all that cool history isn't lost.
You know, that would be the perfect thing for a waiting room at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And that would sustain it.
Yeah. Or our waiting area. The only problem with our waiting area at the marina is it's outside, so everything has to be so weatherproofed, you know. Makes it challenging.
Showing up front for next Sunday.
Yeah. It. I believe it's Saturday.
She's saying Sunday right now, but
yeah, Saturday. It's just approaching. Probably Saturday night, Sunday morning.
A virtual fishing or history.
Look at that rain chance, though. Thursday, Friday, that's from that front stalling out just to our north.
we could sure use it.
My lawn will text me, tell me it's not turning on. Mark Freeman from Clearwater wants to talk pompano rigging. Interesting. Hopefully he has another question. Yeah, this last segment's super short. So we'll take his call and then prompt you to give out your website and phone number and stuff, and then wrap her up. You want to add anything?
Nope.
Chilling?
Happy. Happy as a clam, waiting for breakfast.
There you go.
It's changed so much, really. The only trips I'm pushing these days are the family kids trips for whatever's biting. And
Yeah.
I don't do 8-hour days anymore.
No meat fishing.
Nope. Unless you want mackerel, and they're around.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing you can get any meat with.
Yeah.
And I think it's crazy that they have a 15 fish limit on Spanish. That's just,
it's a lot.
It's a lot of fish.
It's crazy what FWC did on Mahi Mahi from 10 to 5. Lowered that bag on it quite a bit.
But National Marine Fisheries started that, right?
South Atlantic Fishery Management Council talked about it, but they only lowered it from 60 to I think 54 per vessel. So they didn't lower it enough. So FWC was pretty pissed. So they went real extreme. We're back. Real Animals Radio on News Radio 970 WFLA. Talking fishing, last segment of the morning. We've got a caller, Mark Freeman from Clearwater, talking pompano rigging. How are you doing this morning, Mark?
I'm doing great. I'm just crossing over the Skyway. The water looks beautiful. Looks like it'd be a great day for fishing.
Amen to that, buddy. So do you have a question, or do you have more to add on the pompano rigging conversation?
No, I don't have anything to add. I'm hoping you can educate me.
Yeah. What's up? What do you got?
The teaser that you add to the goofy jig.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what you're using for a teaser. And then the second part of the question would be any comment about the rigging sand fleas for pompano bed. I'm
going to pass this one right to Captain Van.
Can't beat sand fleas if you can get them, but thanks to beach renourishment, they're hard to get. The teaser is just a little fly, usually on a number 2 or a number 1 hook. And I prefer the gold hook, but everybody has it different. And the big deal is real simple. Any way you want to rig it, and you can add a sand flea to it or a tippet of shrimp, whatever you want to do, and keep moving because pompano don't sit still.
Yeah, they move a lot. It's a struggle to stay on top of them. Does that answer your question?
So the teaser is actually a bit of live bait. I thought it was maybe a fly or another type of jig or something.
No, sir. The teaser is a fly, and it can be attached with a split ring to the goofy jig, or it can be ahead of or behind your banana lure.
Yeah, so it's just a little small fly.
Like a glass minnow or something like that, or
a little simple fly.
Yeah, so he's talking about a fly. So there's actually it's like a yellowtail fly, like fly fishing. So it's actually an artificial lure.
Gotcha.
but got a couple hairs on it. Similar to a bucktail, but super small and a small hook on it. And a lot of times Doc's Goofy Jigs actually sell them. Some of those Doc's Goofy Jigs will come paired with one of those flies, and you can take it off the lure, or it'll be in a separate bag on the shelf at the tackle shop too.
Well, very good. I'm fourth generation Floridian, and I appreciate what you guys do.
Hey, appreciate you calling, brother. Thank you so much. We've got Dale. Dale called back. He was on the line earlier. He's got a quick question on boats. How you doing, Dale?
Hey, great, guys. Really quick. I have a Mercury 6-horsepower motor, and I've been looking at a 10 or 12-foot John boat, and I know the 12-foot will be fine, but the little on the 10-foot John boat, the little plate on the back says maximum 3 horsepower. Is that a suggestion? Or, I mean, is that a legal thing? Or
I like your style, brother.
It's always a suggestion.
It's a suggestion
I think
until you
handle
overweight.
25. Some would say a word to the wise.
Yeah, I
go
would.
to Mahoney's. He'll hook you up.
Amen there.
I would follow the suggestions. That's definitely wise. So, but you can put it on there, but it's dangerous. You're putting a lot of stress on that gunnel, and you're knocking off the balance. That's more so for balance and safety. So I would follow the suggestions, but do so. You could. It would hold it, but you're just doing so at your own risk.
yeah, I didn't know if that was a 6-horsepower motor on a John boat that says 3 horsepower compared to a bigger boat that says maximum 150, and you put a 300 on it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure the difference would be a big difference, but.
Yeah, they over horsepower them all the time. You would be fine doing that. It's just not necessarily suggested, just like the plate refers to. But Captain Jim Fogel will probably call in tomorrow and fill us in on that more. But, hey, thank you so much, Dale. Thanks for calling in, buddy. Always appreciate the calls. So feel free to join us. But unfortunately, today we're out of time. We're up against the end of our show. Unfortunately, just a 2-hour show. But Van, how would someone book a charter with you, buddy?
My website is captvan.com, captvan.com. And my phone number is 941-468-4017. And I push family fishing for whatever's biting, and let's go fishing and have a good time.
And you can learn a lot. Book a charter and just pick his brain the whole time. That's what I would suggest.
Welcome to do that too.
Yes, and you can always give us a shout, hubbardsmarina.com, learn more. Don't forget about our Sunday night live stream show every Sunday night right on the Hubbard's Marina and Real Animals Facebook pages and the Hubbard's Marina YouTube. Again, 8:30 p.m. every Sunday night to win free trips, talk fishing, and then don't forget about tomorrow's Real Animals radio show on 620 WDAE from 7 to 9 a.m. So check out Captain Mike Mahoney, Captain Big Ben Marshall tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 on WDAE. And hopefully we'll see you next weekend at Tampa Bay Sporting Clays. Big shout out to Captain Rob behind the glass for making us sound great as always. We will see you guys next week, but don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing,
you're just too busy.
Y'all have a great weekend. Tight lines.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
WFLA Tampa.
Can you guys turn down your microphones real quick? So just slide that little gray slider down all the way to the bottom.
Okay, gotcha.
Appreciate y'all tuning in this morning on our Facebook feeds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show, and appreciate you joining us from Boca Grande, Captain Van. Is it your birthday this weekend?
My brother's, and your grandfather's birthday was today too.
Yeah.
Mango Mike's birthday, his 70th birthday. My little brother.
Awesome. So big birthday weekend. And appreciate you driving up here as well. Pops, thanks for coming in the studio. It was
Following you.
It was a good show, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Yeah, there they are.
We're wrapping up this one.
We're wrapping up this show.
We're still live, boss. We're still live.
So hopefully you guys will join us again next week. Again, every Saturday morning, 6 to 8. in the morning, and then every Sunday night from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. is our live show, and then we've got the Real Animals Sunday on 620 WDAE. Hopefully we'll see you this upcoming weekend, Saturday, at Tampa Bay Sporting Clays for the Children's Home Norm Schwarzkopf Memorial Shoot. And then again, we've got Bass Pro Shops next week, Sunday at 2 p.m. So going to be a great weekend next weekend, and beautiful weather this afternoon. A little breezy this morning, but hopefully you can get out there and take advantage of that hot bite. Fish are moving around. Sheep's head are still spawning. Yesterday,
Absolutely.
the 39-hour was loading. I was on the pulpit of the Florida looking at what some problem areas that need some welding attention. The grate up there was having some difficulty, so I'm looking down at that, inspecting it. I'm like, what in the world is that? Their sheep's head were white, and they were dancing with each other. There was like 8 or 9 sheep's head dancing.
Definitely spawning.
And I was like, whoa, that's spawning behavior if you've ever seen it.
Absolutely.
Right on the pilings at the end of our dock. Yeah. So deep, fast-moving water, bridges, areas. You still got some time to take advantage of those sheep's head. That's one thing we didn't talk about this morning.
You can actually cork fish those sheephead when they're up there doing that.
Interesting. On a bobber?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. They are easier to target for sure because they're not right up on the pilings. They're out. They were 10, 12 feet from the pilings. That's what confused me so much. Plus, they got really white, so they were easy to spot in the water when they're dancing around.
I've seen balls the size of this room leaving the bridge on
dancing.
full moon tides, going out to spawn.
That's crazy, man. So it's
huge black balls of them.
It's the time of year to get them.
Everything's happening. It's springtime.
Spring is in the air and
Let's
in the
go
water.
Fishing.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching, y'all.
They was so thick I was afraid to throw a cast net.